Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel from the Dice Tower, and today we're taking a look at a game that I first saw at a convention, I don't know, a few years ago, and that is Deblockle. It's an abstract game, and I tend to gravitate towards when I see a new abstract game, and this one intrigued me because it comes with these blocks, these cubes, but you're going to tip them over, and then depending on what side is showing is how the game works or how it activates. You're trying to remove cubes from the board. I don't know why I'm explaining it to you now. Let's explain why we're looking at the game. In this game, you're playing blue against gold. You're both going to roll your opponent's blocks and put them diagonal to their home base. Your goal in this game is to get rid of all your blocks. And you do that if you're next to your opponent's home base, and then you tilt the block so that it turns into a star. That's the only time you're allowed to make a star be the top block. Then that's removed from the board. Get rid of all 4 of your blocks and you win. On your turn, you pick one of your blocks and you rotate it 1 space. As long as it doesn't show the star, you're fine. You then can use the ability on that block, whatever that ability is, to hop. So normally when you move, you're going to move by rolling over like this. When you hop, you don't change the side. So this is called hoops. This just means you can go 3 different spaces. I could go 1, 2, 3 if I wanted to go there. If this diagonal line is face up, you just hop diagonally 1 space. This one means hop horizontally 1 space. This one, if this side ever comes face up, you then move as far as you want in a straight line until you keep going until you hit a wall or another block. If I'm here, I would move to this spot, or I could move to this spot. Those would be my options. That's kind of it. There's also a stop. If this comes, you do nothing. By the way, the stop is on the other side of the star. Just keep that in mind. So on my turn, I might say, okay, here. Ooh, I'm close enough to the star, but how do I get there? Next turn, I go this way, which lets me go 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to get into that spot. Next turn, I go here, which makes me move 1 this way. I'm not doing a very good job at getting there, so next turn I go there, then slide in a straight line, and that's not very helpful. Then I go here, that stops. Then I go here, 1, 2, 3. Still not getting there. 1, move 1 space this direction. 1, 1, 2, 3. I'm almost there. I think there's a stop, but I can't get to a star. Well, I'll get there eventually. But that is how the game works, besides the gold person's going in between my turns. The first person to get all 4 off wins. These are nice blocks, although I will say the blue printing on the gold blocks is not particularly easy to see. On camera here, it's not very good. These look much better. These are nice blocks, and the frame, the whole thing has kind of a classy look. On the back of the rule book is just a little guide as to how each of these pieces, each of the sides works. It's pretty simple, and that's it. That's how you play. Okay, so Deblockle here, an abstract game. In many ways, there's things about this that I like, but I do have some problems with it. I do like the idea of moving a block, picking the side that you move it to, and then utilizing that side. Where this game becomes a problem is I'm going to have to say, all right, I need to look at this side, this side, this side. So if I move it here, then this will go here. And by moving it there, the new sides will be this. And so whenever I move a piece, I'm thinking about this turn and next turn, which is fine. I mean, that's the way a lot of abstract strategy games are. But it can slow the game down. Deblockle is a much thinkier game. I mean, it's from Project Genius, so I mean, there's that. Than it would appear when you are looking at the options. And there's not a lot of, some quick moves. It feels like every time it's your turn, you've kind of got to pause the game, look at what your opponent's doing, because why would you not try to block them if possible? And then, or, move your own pieces into the spots that you need to. So I like the idea of flipping the block and then a special ability. Although having the stop was not particularly interesting to have on the side of a die. It's also important to know what's on the opposite side. The stop is on the opposite side of the star. So moving to a stop means you're definitely not getting to do that next turn. So you need to figure, once you move from the stop, wherever you go, you're trying to make that next thing so it lands in your opponent's star. This is a game that speeds up a little bit as time goes by, because with fewer blocks in the way at the beginning, you're blocking each other with blocks. Near the end, you might each only have 1 block. At that point, it's just kind of a race to whoever figures out the solution. It's not really random other than the setup, but it does slow down so much that I can only give this game a 6. I would like it more. I like the concept more. I don't like the analysis paralysis, AP for short, where we just kind of sit there and you wait for your opponent to figure out the different possibilities. Now, you don't have to do that. You could just move a block and then, okay, oh, this one, let's move diagonal, go 1, and try to just get to the opponent's side. And you can play quickly like that, and I've tried that too. The problem is when you do that, sometimes you just go over and over and over and over and over and over again until you're like, oh, when am I going to get to the right spot where I can get that star onto the end goal? But there are some neat aspects to it. I think some people will enjoy it. I didn't dislike it. I found it merely to be okay, and that's Deblockle.